And right now we are 2 minutes away from the end of the trading day. Romaine Bostick here with Katie Greifeld, taking you through to that closing bell with the global simulcast. It starts now. Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec in the radio booth. Welcome to our audiences across all of our Bloomberg platforms, including our partnership with YouTube on what is a record-setting week, Carol Massar, maybe fueled by rate cuts, maybe fueled by the AI trade, maybe fueled by all of the above.
I don't know. You're right. But we're looking at, another bunch of record closes, I think, for three of the major averages, watching what's going on with small caps. You know, it's funny. So much for being a Friday where we think things start to wind down. Tim and I were saying it was something like 6 redheads on the Bloomberg in just terms of just headlines and things happening.
Carol, make that 7.
7.
Aptiv is said to consider sale of electrical distribution unit. I don't know if you guys had time to hit that on your program before we came in, but that's kind of a record probably for news that has hit during our program on a Friday afternoon.
I will point out that it is a Friday afternoon, and we know that the Friday news dump is a real thing, as evidenced by this specific Friday.
And we get to this idea here, and when we start to talk about sort of what conditions are, right? The idea that financial conditions are loose, and they're obviously gotten looser given the rate cut and the rhetoric coming out of the Fed. Next week, a lot of those Fed members are going to sort of make the rounds and really start to articulate why they voted the way they did and what they might vote for going forward. We heard from Kashkari earlier today and Mary Daly. They seem to be on board with this cycle.
Yeah, it's really kind of fascinating. It really comes down to that. You know, we just had a guest on, though, Walter Todd over at Greenwood Capital, though, concerns that what we're hearing in the economy, though, and that maybe he thinks financial markets, equities are getting a little ahead of themselves.
All right, let's take a look here at the closing bells in New York on this Friday afternoon as we close out the week. The Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, all in the green. Katie Greifeld, I think that counts as, what did you call it, a triple crown?
Triple crown, baby.
Triple crown, triple header, whatever you want it to be. The Dow up more than about 172 points, or 0.4%. The S&P up 30 points, or 0.5%. The NASDAQ composite up 0.7%. Similar move higher for the NASDAQ 100. But here's where we start to get into trouble. The Russell 2000, which had massive outperformance yesterday, is your underperformer today, down 0.8%. Dow Transport's down 0.2%.
I mean, what'd you do, Romaine? Come on. We were so close.
Press the wrong button.
We were so close.
All right, S&P 500, back to the big caps we go. 211 names in the average. Higher today. Katie, 290 to the downside, 2 unchanged.
Let's take a look at the sector level as illustrated by this circle. You can see it's very green today, and it's big tech once again. This is what we saw yesterday. It's what we see on this Friday, really leading gains at the sector level, up more than 1%. Utilities, too, though, getting in on the action, as too did communication services. On the downside, you do have 4 sectors in the red on this Friday. Energy leading losses, off by 1.3%. Real estate, consumer staples, and healthcare also finishing the day lower, Carol.
A lot of green. All right, let's get to some of those individual gainers that got it there. FedEx, that stock finishing off its best levels of the session, still a gain of 2.3%. The company reported better than expected adjusted earnings per share for the first quarter, reinstated its full-year sales and profit outlook, and that's really what got investors excited, because remember when they had suspended it because they just weren't quite sure what was coming at them. And this is all happening, investors buying the stock because the company still expects a $1 billion hit from trade volatility this year due to President Trump's tariffs and the loss of a key exemption for low-value goods. Got to mention Apple as well. That went up about 3.2%.
Did you get a new iPhone today?
I did not. I'm still happy with what I've got. I'm still getting used to that new, was it liquid glass or whatever the heck it is?
I don't know. I'm on iPhone 6.
Oh, sorry for you. All right. Well, the iPhone 17 Pro, Pro Max, and iPhone Air have gone on sale, with the new phones attracting long lines at Apple stores in various locations. It is the first time.
I was in that line today, by the way.
So you were buying something?
No, I was actually there for something completely unrelated to Tim Cook, but I just happened to run into him. I said hi.
Did
Just
you
there
really?
for the vibes?
Yes, seriously. Yes.
Did you ask him anything?
I did not. I did not get that close to him. You know, he has a lot of security around him.
Okay. Yeah.
As you can
And they're
imagine.
probably
So do you.
Yeah. So he's like the president. You can't get any close to him. You're like, who are you?
All right, moving along. Apple shares up 3.2%. Keep in mind, I think it was Mark Urban pointing out, first time since 2020 that Apple has rolled out several new phone designs and a lot of new gear. So people excited. This one, courtesy of my lovely co-host, Tim Stenovec, Bright House Financial. Yes. Thank you. BHF is the ticker. Stock up 27% in today's session. A consortium led by the insurer Aquarian Holdings in advanced talks to pay $65 to $70 per share for Brighthouse Financial. This is according to people in the know as the sales process for the annuity provider comes to a head. So we'll see. Brighthouse could decide as soon as next week to move forward, or they could remain independent according to those people in the know. And I'm just going to throw in, sorry, Finley, I didn't send this to you, but Oracle, a late pop on that redhead, up about 4% here at the close. Company in talks with Meta on a $20 billion AI cloud computing deal. We know Oracle has been on a tear when it comes to lining up AI cloud computing deals. Stock's up 85% year to date. I'm done.
All right, I want to get to some of the decliners today. Home builders taking a hit. Big part of that is because of Lennar, down 4.2%. The company's forecast for quarterly home orders miss analyst estimates due to affordability concerns, potential concerns about the job market as well. Lennar's results, according to the company, reflect both the continued pressures of today's housing market and the consistency of Lennar's operating strategy. Every single name in the S1500 home index, the S&P 500, S&P 1500, home index was lower on the day today. Also watching the parent company of Instacart, its ticker is CART. Maple Bear is the name, down 8.6%. This after reports late yesterday, that Amazon has partnered with southeastern supermarket chain Winn-Dixie for grocery delivery in Florida. Other grocers also traded lower today, including Kroger and Albertsons as well. And finally, just watching what happened with Intel today. After this week's record run, Intel shares fell after Citigroup downgraded the stock to sell from neutral, pointing to the company's rich valuation. Shares fell in the day today, down 3.2%. Remember, shares rallied 23% on Thursday after NVIDIA agreed to invest $5 billion in the company.
And I just want to add an honorable mention on that. StubHub, I was taking a look at those shares. Remember, they had the IPO on Wednesday or on Tuesday night, at $23.50. They've closed below that in every session since, including today, down another 10%. Some of that might actually have to do with some idiosyncratic issues, some issues coming out of Washington with regards to some concerns about Ticketmaster and their practices as well.
I was looking at Pattern Technology, which is another IPO today. It initially opened down as much as 8.9%. It ended up finishing the day higher by 9.6%. But for a long time today, I thought that was going to be another IPO that kind of stuttered out of the gate. Yeah,
I think we've had 3 this week, actually, that did not perform as well as some of the ones that we had in the previous week. It'll be interesting to see what the read-through is as we get into next week. Just a real quick check on yields here on a daily basis. Not a whole lot of activity, but the more notable move is what we saw on a weekly basis, the first weekly decline that we've seen in yields across the board since mid-August. So despite the fact that you are seeing a little bit of an upswing in yields on the day, we should point out that the trend line has been to the downside. As expected, a lot of folks front ran that Fed rate decision, and at least it looks right now with regards to the latest CFTC data that people are still positioned for additional drop in yields. All right, something to certainly keep a watch on as we get into the new trading week. Having said that, something we can maybe all be a little bit happy about on this Friday, coffee futures. We saw them definitely pull back in both New York and London. This is on an improving supply outlook and traders keeping a close eye on tariff impact. So futures for premium, is it Arabica? Am I saying it correctly? Arabica. Is it Arabica? Yeah, okay. It's Arabica. Thank God for all of you guys. Spelled.
That's one of those words I try not to say out loud.
I was like, do I say it? Do I not? Anyway, fell as much as 6.5% in New York and Washington. I should say the Washington Post reported that U.S. lawmakers plan to introduce a bill to exempt coffee product imports from tariffs. So this is something we're keeping a watch on. Certainly play into the inflationary picture.
I've been buying the same bag of 5-pound coffee beans.
Of course, you make your own coffee.
Since 2020.
Okay.
It has gone up in price from $75 to $80, and then up to $85. Something tells me it will not go down. $75. So as somebody who doesn't drink coffee, is $75 for 5 pounds?
5 pounds. Coffee
no, that's a pretty good deal.
Okay.
That is a pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal for single origin Nicaraguan coffee.
For dirt?
That's a pretty good deal.
Have you guys ever asked Tim about his coffee process? He doesn't drink coffee when he comes to work. It's a special moment at home.
Oh, he's one of those guys. You have like one of those really high-end Italian espresso machines.
You only have to buy that.
You wake everybody up in the house.
That's like every 2 months you buy a bag of coffee.
Like my wife there.
I had no idea. I always thought he was like, easy peasy and down to earth.
No.
Not when it comes to his coffee.
Then you got to know me.
I did. I did. Still love.